Hello everyone, I'm Iain MacIntyre, this is Elliott Pap. We are hockey writers at the Vancouver Sun, and this is our post-mortem on tonight's 3-2 Nashville Predator win over Vancouver. We're wearing black. Maybe it's because we're in mourning. The Canucks have now lost 2 in a row. I'm curious, Elliott, when I go outside, if the sky is still up there, because I just heard you talk for 3 hours. You were not satisfied with this performance.
I was not impressed at all, Iain. Right from the opening power play, the Canucks, they didn't look sharp, fumbled the puck away, gave up a shorthanded goal. Luongo was beaten cleanly, and it just didn't look like it was going to be their night, and as it turned out, it wasn't.
Well, and interestingly, you're right, it didn't end up being the Canucks' night, but I think it had more to do with Stéphane Auger, the regrettable NHL referee, and some of the calls he made in the third period. Certainly Alex Burrows thinks so. Alex Burrows absolutely ripped the officiating. There were some suspect calls, just phantom calls, stuff that normally doesn't get called in the game. And it really stood out because the game had a lot of intensity. It wasn't quite the playoff atmosphere that the Canucks' last game was against Calgary, but we saw how the Calgary game was officiated. It was treated like an important playoff game. Tonight it had playoff intensity, yet preseason refereeing.
I agree with the preseason refereeing. There were some very questionable calls. The one on Burrows for diving, I thought maybe he was holding, I think it was Hamhuis' stick. Nevertheless, it was one he could have let go. It wasn't really involved in the scoring play. It was deep in the Nashville end. But the interference penalty on Burrows, just as the Canucks were beginning a power play, I saw a replay. Burrows essentially brushed by a player going to the front of the net. Didn't appear to be interference to me, and that was the one that looked like just a blatant even-up call by a referee who decided he was going to settle the outcome of the game.
And Burrows claimed afterwards that Auger had threatened to him before the game that he was going to settle at least things between Auger and Burrows. Auger was the referee who made a 5-minute major penalty and game misconduct call against Nashville's Jared Smithson at a game in Nashville in early December, and Burrows claims Auger said to him before the game that tonight that Burrows had made him look bad then, had faked it, and he was going to get him back. So the NHL is certainly going to have their hands full investigating. Hopefully they'll actually ask Auger what happened as well and not just come down on Burrows, but I'm sure Burrows is looking at a significant fine. What do you see for this team now that has to go to Minnesota tomorrow morning and suddenly they're on a 2-game losing streak?
Yes, it seems like they lost a bit of their edge. They've only had 2 goals apiece the last 2 games. Henrik Sedin, despite getting an assist, to 3 bad penalties tonight. When the Canucks are playing poorly, the Twins are often getting those cheapy offensive zone hooking penalties. And in fact, Henrik's tripping penalty on Joel Ward right after the Burrows penalty cost the Canucks the game. So they're going to have to be a lot more disciplined, and they're going to have to get some scoring other than the top line right now. I know Kessler's line was doing fairly well, and they had some chances tonight but didn't put any in, but the third and fourth lines producing absolutely nothing right now, and the Canucks need something from them.
Well, I disagree with you about the third and fourth lines. This is a team that scored 11 goals in the 2 games prior to this 2-game losing streak. They've been among the NHL scoring leaders a long time, but certainly they need to be a little sharper in all areas. Alex Burrows was wild tonight. The Canucks will be wild on Wednesday in Minnesota.